How are we all connected? How are we capable of manifesting our reality? How is it possible that you can sense that something is about to happen before it actually happens? How can a mother feel when her child is in danger on the other side of the planet? Or you just think about an old friend who you haven't talked to in like forever, and they call you in a couple hours or the day after. How can a prayer contribute to someone's healing who's not even present? Until we understand the fundamental laws of the universe, all of these sound like random coincidences or miracles. Interestingly, ancient civilizations understood these laws way before our mathematicians or physicists did. Today we have the technology to follow through certain experiments that finally provided scientific evidence of the existence of this living electromagnetic energy field that connects everything and everyone. Imagine it like a conscious energy flow that is in constant movement. We can call it a quantum field, or God, the source, the divine matrix, the universe, the Akashic records, or call it just the field. It doesn't only connect everything, but it is everything. The entire universe exists within the quantum field. It doesn't interact with matter because it is matter. And also the space within the atom and outside the atom. Inside the atom, there is 99.9% empty space. If you take all the space out from the atoms in the universe, leaving only physical matter, it could be compressed into the size of a pea. I'm sure you've heard this before. So what we're decoding with our senses as something solid or physical form, in reality, it is just a certain vibrational energy. Shift your mind that something is solid and permanent, because the particles are just like waves of energy and we can influence them. A study proved that just the presence of a human DNA could influence photons, the light particles of the universe. This is important when we will talk about the possibilities of healing or changing our bodies. It's not that much of a miracle anymore, but conscious co-creation with the source energy that is possible for you, for me, and every human being. The Big Bang singularity was the place where everything was once physically connected. You can look up the experiment called entanglement. According to the summary of the study, once matter was connected physically, even when the photons are split, regardless of how far they end up from each other, they remain connected energetically. Separation is only an illusion. Now it makes sense how we are connected to every single thing in the universe. And not only that, we're connected to infinite possibilities and information, to all dimensions, even to the past and the future that are constantly shaping and forming based upon the present moment. Everything we can imagine already exists in the quantum field, and what we choose to imagine and focus on only depends on us. The quantum field connects our inner and outer world, and like a projector, it reflects back to us what we think and believe to be true. This is why there is not only one truth, because every person observes the world from their own perspective. Our physical senses are extensions of the source energy, using them to interpret vibration into this reality. Our time-space reality and what we call real only feels very real to us because that's all we know with our senses. And also there is an agreement on it as a collective with other human beings who have the same senses for decoding all the information from the field. Our perception of reality is completely different from our dog's or a flower's reality. Our eyes and ears, for example, can only detect a small fraction of the total sound and light frequency range, which means there is a lot going on around us that we cannot see or hear. What am I doing here? I want to shake you up from the old belief systems that you learned to be true. I want you to start believing what you thought was impossible, because whatever you desire already exists in the quantum field, and you have the power to manifest it into your physical reality and create the life you have always wanted. How? The primary force that controls our time-space reality, influencing the quantum field, are our thoughts and emotions. Even though we cannot see it, every thought and emotion has a vibrational frequency. And what we consciously and subconsciously believe about the world and about ourselves becomes our truth, our personal reality, because the field reflects back to us the same vibrational energy we give out. I'm sure you've heard that where focus goes, energy flows. Reality exists only where the mind creates a focus. We can accomplish change just by shifting our focus, changing the way we think and feel. So we learned that on a quantum level, there is no separation. But we experience separation, living in separate human forms with different identifications of the self, created by the ego mind. Let's talk about the ego in the next video. Then we will dive into how to create our future with the law of attraction. First, when people hear the word ego, they immediately connect it with an image of a self-absorbed, entitled person. Someone who, let's say, always plays the helpless victim role has also a strong ego. So what is the ego? The ego is a personal identity built from what you've learned about yourself from every experience you've had in your life, many from your childhood. From the moment you were born, the identification started. You got a name, learned about your family's history, your religion and race, which food you should like and which team to cheer for. What kind of person you are, how you behave, how you speak, how you dress, your role in society, or how wealthy you are, or being always broke, and basically all your belief systems. This is your identity, your ego, who you think you are, but it's not who you truly are. Before you came into this physical body, you were a non-physical source energy. You are the consciousness, the observer behind the body, behind the mind. What does the ego do? It collects information, creates self-identity, and separates itself from the outside world. It claims, this is me, and everything else is not me. Anything outside of my skin is not me. This is our sense of I. It protects this image, the illusion of self, no matter what. This is why you feel that strong need to be right, like it physically hurts admitting that you were wrong. What we focus on expands. So you will always attract certain experiences, news, or people who will confirm your beliefs, and that your perspective is the truth. Your personal history is used as a justification by the ego, explaining that you are a certain way because of what happened to you in the past. An interesting study proved that the majority of our memories about our past are not even true. Some never actually happened or didn't happen the way we interpreted it. Isn't it crazy to even think about that? You believe certain things about yourself based on experiences that may have never even happened. How does the ego do this? The answer is simple. It tries to protect you. The old and familiar will always feel safer to the mind because it is predictable. Picture your mind like a computer that has certain programming and is perfectly capable of running on autopilot without your supervision. Almost like you were controlled by your laptop. The laptop itself is an amazing tool that you can create with, just like your thoughts, if you use them wisely. Every person has moments of separation from impulsive thinking, a break from the ego. They usually remember these experiences as the happiest moments of their life. What happens in those moments? They simply become present, not worried about meetings, deadlines, bills to pay, or that they should be somewhere else, but they just simply enjoy the present moment. Whenever the negative automated thoughts arise again, like reliving bad memories from the past or start worrying about the future, that immediately leads to suffering. But it's all in your mind. So what can you do? Becoming the conscious observer is the first step. When we talk about ego death, you might have heard that expression before. We don't mean you will be enlightened sitting and meditating under a tree without a personality till the rest of your life. We refer to the moment you let go of the conditioned self, when you separate your true nature, your spirit, from all the rest that is just part of your avatar in this time-space reality. As your conditioned patterns fade away, you allow the source energy to flow through you, awakening to your real purpose, to express yourself fully as an infinite soul in this current form and life you chose. Is the ego bad? The answer is, we cannot live without an ego, a self-identity on this planet, and we don't need to. This is not the game here. Can you imagine I show up on a date and the guy is asking my name and I answer him like, I'm an infinite being in this temporary human form, but in this time-space reality, they call me Rika. If we were born in other life forms, in other galaxies, that's a different story. But as a human being on this planet, the game is to learn that the ego is like your avatar in a video game. You can shape it, change it as you like it. The old programming and the old self can only recreate your current reality. That might be the reason when you feel like you're stuck running the same cycles, because you're in autopilot mode. The reason why it's so hard for many people to achieve their goals is because they're completely identified with their ego. They are so attached to their personal story, their ways of living, and they are scared of letting go of the old beliefs. If who you thought you were doesn't exist anymore, then who are you now? That unknown space is the sweet spot where you can create who you actually want to be. You want better health, get in better shape, learn to communicate better with your loved ones, improve your finances, or attract a loving partner in your life. To create a new reality, you will need a new avatar. You need to get ready to leave your old identity behind, changing your personality, and belief system to create a new self who is capable of healing and achieving the new dreams, creating the new reality that the old self was not able to. It starts with sending out new vibrations with your new thoughts and emotions to the quantum field in order to achieve the new life. It's an exciting journey, and I'm here to hold your hands and guide you along. Check out the next video about the law of attraction, and let's start our conscious creation. We talked about the quantum field in the previous videos. Remember? It is like a mirror, reflecting back to you what you believe about yourself, others, life, and basically about anything. How the whole world appears to you is the reflection of your inner world. If it's a peaceful, safe environment where everybody is kind to you, then you're most likely on the right track. If you believe that the world is a dangerous place where people are mean and unfair to you, then it's time to do some soul searching and make a conscious shift on the inside so it can manifest on the outside. Every thought and emotion has a vibrational frequency, regardless if you are sending them out consciously or if you are on a subconscious old programming. There is no exception. The law of attraction always responds, and we are participants in the creation at every second of our existence, whether we believe in it or not. Let's take our power back and create our future then. So what are our tools for creation? Thoughts and emotions. But let me be a bit more specific. We have tens of thousands of thoughts a day. Most of them are quite silly and negative. So thank God they don't manifest right away, right? They usually just come and go like clouds in the sky. We will observe them better in our meditations. You will notice that some thoughts you'll be able to easily let pass by without any emotional reaction, but others may take you on a journey and you will need to catch yourself, bringing your awareness back. The actual manifestation process starts. You start with a thought. You focus on it, visualize it, and then, as an electric charge, you power it with the matching emotion. The last chapter of the manifestation process is trust and gratitude. Letting go of the desire and give thanks, feeling that it is already yours, knowing that it has already happened in the quantum field, and it's just a matter of time while it appears in your physical reality. There is no question about our ability to influence matter through the quantum field with the power of human emotion. But if it's true and so simple, how come most people don't get what they want in life? Maybe you have tried it before, but feel like you have failed. Let me explain the two main mistakes that people make when they try to apply the law of attraction for creation. Number one, most people don't get what they want because they are conditioned to focus on what they don't want. 80% of an average person's thoughts are found to be negative. Maybe you meditate, then claim your positive affirmations in the morning. That lasts for 30 minutes. But then the rest of the day, you're complaining to people about your personal story with a strong negative emotional charge that has been practiced throughout the years and has already programmed into your mind and body with the hormonal response. Which one do you think will override the other? Yes, the well-practiced one that you give most of your attention to. The greater the amount of focus, the longer you hold your attention on it, the greater the influence, because you start matching the vibrational frequency of that thought. Our affirmation and meditation journey will start planting new seeds, wiring new neurocircuits in your brain. But you will need to establish a habit to carry on with the new thoughts, feelings, and new personality for the rest of your day. The law of attraction doesn't analyze the subject of your focus, whether it's good or bad for you. It simply reflects back to you what you give out. You need to be the one who makes this conscious shift. Your brain doesn't know the words no, not, don't. If I tell you, don't think about a pink elephant, what are you thinking about? Picturing that pink elephant, right? The brain doesn't think about words, it thinks in pictures. When the mother says to the child, don't fall, the child immediately imagines falling. It is almost like a demand for the brain to fall. If you tell me, I don't want to feel sick anymore, the picture in your mind appears about you being sick. You are most likely also so fed up with having a certain illness that you immediately have the strong emotional charge with the declaration. This combination is already a powerful manifestation tool, but in this case, it will just reaffirm what you actually don't want, keeping the illness in your current reality. Luckily, complaining and talking about what we don't want is just a bad habit that we can change. Reason number 2, creating from the field of lack. What do I mean by that? When we ask the source for something, we affirm that what we are asking doesn't exist. Affirming in the field that there is a lack of what we desire right now only manifests and creates more lack, because that is the mirror of the current emotional state. We cannot create from lack. Lack only attracts more lack. In order to achieve what we want, it's not enough to claim your desire, but you need to match the vibrational frequency of having that certain experience you're asking for. So how to do it right? We need to learn to create the experience in our mind of what it feels like when the experience we're asking for has already occurred. The mind doesn't know the difference between your imagination and reality. It produces the same chemicals if you are just picturing something like it was actually happening to you. So what is it that you truly desire? Feel it, see it, smell it, touch it in your visualization. Feel it deep in your heart that your prayer has already been answered, and be grateful. Give thanks that you already got it. Feeling whole and healthy creates the health you're asking for. Awakening our self-love and deservability attracts a loving partner. Feeling abundant, experiencing freedom and security attracts more wealth. My goal is to help you release the resistance, acting on the good ideas, and establishing well-being as your natural vibrational state. That will allow you to tune into the frequency of what you're asking for, so it can easily manifest in your time-space reality. Important tools that we will be using every day for conscious creations are affirmations and meditations and visualization. Let's talk about them in the next video.